Good morning. And welcome to Decorah UU UCC. Welcome back once again. My name's Adam Campbell. I'm your worship leader here today. Today, the cross-quarter day, the day when the UUs and the UCC come together to celebrate the halfway point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice, the time when life is abundant all around us, when the trees are bursting into life, when morels are popping up all through the forest, where new flowers and new birds are arriving every single day. In the Christian tradition, we celebrate this time of fertility and fecundity by dedicating the entire month of May to devotion and celebration of Mary, who is known in the tradition as the Queen of May. And also, the 1st of May is the feast of St. Joseph the Worker, to honor the center of Eastertide, the 50-day stretch that we are in right now, where Jesus hands off the work to the apostles and the inspirited community, which is us, who are promised to go on to do even greater things than Jesus has done. And in the broader world, we have celebrations like Beltane, the beginning of summer, if you can believe that, in the Celtic tradition, where the bonfires are lit and the animals go out to pasture and there's dancing and singing around the maypole, again, to celebrate the time of fertility and new life and fecundity. And also May Day, the time of solidarity and celebration with workers who, again, are us. Because if there will be a harvest in the fall, it's upon us to do the work right now that we envisioned was possible in the wintertime. And so today, our theme is joy. Joy of the return of the sun and warmth. Joy of the return of life. Joy that we have these bodies, that we can go out and do the work that we are invited to do. Joy that we are part of a greater body, this community, to do the work together. And finally, the joy that no matter what work we do, the sun will rise and set without us, and the trees and the flowers will come into bloom, and that there is a greater work and a greater presence doing work with which we can align. And so I invite you now to take a moment to pause in silence and stillness, to center your hearts in the joy of being part of an ever-evolving, emerging miracle that's around us all the time. Let's pause and prepare our hearts and minds for worship together today. And as we gather together today, all of us, we're reminded of the example of Jesus, who welcomed every single person to his table without exception. God's doors are open to all, and we invite each and every one of you to the joy and the spirit of fellowship and worship together of this congregation. And whether you're young or old or anywhere in between, whatever your history or background, whether your faith is an old friend or you're filled with doubts and confusions and question, whatever your sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, whatever your color, culture, or nationality, whatever the size and shape of your family, and whether you're joining us right here or online, we're so privileged and pleased to have your presence here today. Let's begin our worship together by singing.
And I invite you all to rise in body or in spirit as we join together in our opening hymn this morning, found as an insert in your bulletin, For the Beauty of the Earth. We're using the edition from the UU hymnal today with slightly different words. Before we begin, I'm going to have Elizabeth teach us this lower part on the top. This is kind of traditionally the alto part, if we're thinking all of our 4-part voices, but really this part is for any lower voice who might want to sing it.
Yeah, we're going to start by just repeating after me. We're going to sing through this harmony, and then we'll put it all together for the whole thing. We'll take it in chunks. I'll sing, and then you repeat after me. For the beauty of the earth, for the beauty of the then putting both together. For the lofty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies. Same thing going on. For the love which from our birth over and around us lies. And then similar going on. Source of all to thee we raise, this our hymn of grateful praise.
Excellent. So, sing what you would like. Sing the melody, sing this lovely alto harmony as a lower voice harmony, or if you're someone who likes to read music, throw in a tenor part or throw in a bass part. All notes are welcome as we sing. Let's join together and we'll sing all 4 verses together. Yes.
The peace of God be amongst you all. I invite you to show signs of that peace amongst you now. Good to see so many friends here. As you find your seats today, I invite all of the young and the youthful at heart, the kids, anyone who wants to feel like a kid for a moment, come on up for the children's sermon with Sue today. Thank you.
Yeah, I do. Thank you.
Just remember to speak closely.
I shall. Everybody has their tea. Well, hi. Good morning, everyone. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 folks here ready to welcome in summer. Today is the beginning of summer in the Celtic tradition. We call it Beltane sometimes. But anyway, summer's here, and we're excited. And there's so many great things about summer. One of my favorite things is that everybody's outside again. I get to see my neighbors who they're often inside during the winter. They're kind of, staying away from the cold, and they just don't spend a lot of time outside. But now they're out, they're working in their gardens, sitting on their porches sometimes to rest, maybe having lunch out on the patio, and it's just really a cool thing. So what's your favorite thing about summer? Summer's coming up. What's your favorite thing? You have a favorite thing?
Probably playing baseball. I
Playing
appreciate
baseball. All right. Anybody?
No school.
Oh. Do you have a favorite thing? Would you like to go to swimming pool? You think so? And do you have a favorite thing about summer?
I don't know. I don't have to.
There's a lot of things, aren't there? A lot of things you can do in the summer. Yeah. Too many things to do, she says. Ice cream and popsicles. Good things. Oh, yeah. You do have something.
Going to grandma's.
Going to grandma's. Oh, yeah. Thank you for all of us grandmas in the audience. We're happy to hear that. That's great news. Great news indeed. Well, there used to be lots of things that people did to celebrate the beginning of summer, and one of them was to decorate a branch or a tree with colorful rags or pieces of ribbon, something to celebrate the summer coming in. And so I was thinking it might be fun if we could decorate a tree or a branch or something, but I don't know if we can find a branch or... Oh, look! Well, here comes one. Well, look at that. Just at the right time. And so you're going to be the roots, right? This is our roots. Adam is the roots. And then we can decorate the tree a little bit. So I've got some pieces of cloth here. Why don't you come over and pick one or two? You can pick two that you might want to put on the tree. You can either tie them on or you can just lay them on. You pick your favorite colors. Yeah, lots of different colors. Pick a couple that you like that are nice. Sure. You can tie it or you can just lay it on, whatever you like to do. We're going to make this a beautiful branch. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's looking better already, I can tell. Oh, yes, I like it. I like it. Okay. And we'll leave some here, and you can take them home and decorate. Yeah. It is. It's easy to put on. Well, this is a beautiful tree. This is beautiful. Why don't you each pick a couple to take home, and you can decorate a tree or a branch by your own house. Yeah, take some home. Yeah, find some colors that you like. Oh, yeah. Do you have any trees right outside by your doors, out in your backyard, or a bush maybe? Well, that'll work, I bet. Okay. Well, great. We're going to celebrate summer. Decorate the whole world, and we're all going to enjoy that. So you take your. We'll let. How long are you? Should we have our tree sit here? Do you think? Okay. Well, we have a nice tree, so I'll invite you to go back with, you're going to go downstairs, I guess, and have some fun with summer, and, okay, watch that tea. Well, they just got their own tea. You could probably get some, I bet your mom could get some. I don't know why you're not getting tea. Get busy, Andrea. Oh, my goodness. We're going to fix that right now. Well, thanks to the kids. Always full of surprises.
Okay, from the roots. Maybe we should put that over there, maybe behind the... Okay. Oh, watch out for the flame. This seems like a... Well, while we're getting this situated, I'm just going to move the... Okay. Well, I'm just going to move this out of the way. There we go. We'll get that adjusted correctly in a second. So now we pause to take time together to share our joys and concerns with each other. So I invite you to take a moment and reflect on what's alive in your heart and your being right now. All of us just came in through those doors with a whole world going on outside of us and around us. And here we are in this moment where we can pause and just see what's true for us. Maybe we're carrying joy and celebration at the miracle of life and the beauty of today. What a sunrise we had this morning. Maybe we're carrying concern, anxiety, fear around things that we've seen in the world, or maybe illness or sickness in our own family, or even in our own bodies. So now's our chance to share that with each other so it can be held in community. In a moment, you'll have the opportunity to raise your hand. I'll bring the mic to you. Make sure you speak closely into the mic. And you're invited to be thorough and brief at the same time. And after each prayer, I'll give a quick summary, and then we'll have a sung response together. Benj will lead us in that now.
And our song response is going to be "Your joy is my joy, your sorrow my sorrow." Just the first part of a little responsorial written by our own Ellen Rockney here in Decorah. I'll sing it once through here. Your joy is my joy, your sorrow my sorrow. Join me. Your joy is my joy, your sorrow my sorrow.
And so, friends, what shall we pray for today?
Grateful for all the birds that are coming back and gracing our ears as well as our eyes, and also grateful for the energy to do spring house cleaning. Yippee!
For birds and cleaning.
Your joy is my joy, your sorrow my sorrow.
This prayer request is to remember Jessica's husband, Peter, who passed away 8 years ago on April 30th. Peter was a loyal member of this church and its choir for many years, and Peter's commitment to this church is a key reason that Jessica is with us today as our worship accompanist.
For Peter.
For all those everywhere in the world who are working to bring peace.
For the peacemakers.
Your joy is my joy, your sorrow my sorrow.
Carolyn, Decorah UU, she, her. I'm grieving for the loss of the Voting Rights Act, and my heart is with the ancestors that have fought to give it to us so that we can take it back.
For justice.
I don't think she's back there. It wasn't okay. For all those who can't be with us today, and let them know that we love them.
For those who aren't with us today,
Prayers for those who are healing and also for those who need answers in the process of healing, to know that they are loved, and for patience in answers.
for healing and guidance.
Just feeling really grateful to have so many of our friends here today. I love that we're practicing this sweet tradition together of recognizing time's passing and all the beauty of this world that comes with it.
For the tradition of community.
Well, we're entering into the season of graduations, and so wishing a bright future to all the graduates in our world.
For all the places they'll go.
I want to echo the children and say for the grandmothers, my grandmother passed years ago, but would be very glad to know I've returned to church.
To the grandmothers and the ancestors. Any other prayers today? Well, then I invite you into the spirit of prayer with me now. O divine presence, we begin in gratitude today for the joy of life all around us, for community, for friends and beloveds to gather together, for rituals that sustain us and remind us that life is so much bigger than we are. Here, this one tiny blip, the short time that we have to do the work and to be held in this life. We give thanks for the ancestors, the masters, the teachers, the people who have come before us, who have handed down wisdom and love and insight. And who invite us to continue the work of justice and right action. We give thanks for new life, even as we honor those who have passed on. And we ask for guidance in turbulent times, knowing that we have no idea at all what tomorrow will bring. And so we're grateful that in this moment we're alive and we're here and we're gathered together to hold each other and to remind each other that we, in this moment, are part of something greater than ourselves. We also acknowledge, even to ourselves, that there's so much that remains unsaid in this moment. Each one of us carrying so many prayers unspoken. And so we take a moment to lift up all of those, even the ones we have not yet said to ourselves, knowing that all of those and more are held. And now you're invited to say together the words Jesus taught us to speak many years ago, and whatever words are meaningful to you. O God, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever.
For our invitation to listen today, I'm introducing a new little piece. The text was taken from a small excerpt of E. Cummings' poem, I Thank You, God, for Most This Amazing. And then the tune was written by Barbara McAfee. It's a 3-part tune. I'm only going to teach just the one part of it. And the words of that part are, "The ears of my ears awake." Before I teach the tune, I just want to read the E. Cummings poem for us all to really take in the wholeness of this poem as we then sing the short little bit of the ending. I thank you, God, for most this amazing day, for the leaping greenly spirits of trees and a blue true dream of sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. I who have died am alive again today, and this is the sun's birthday. This is the birthday of life and of love and wings and of the gay, great happening, illimitably earth. How should tasting, touching, hearing, seeing, breathing, any, lifted from the no of all nothing, human, merely being, doubt, unimaginable you, now the ears of my ears awake, and now the eyes of my eyes are opened. I'll sing it. It's a short little part that repeats itself, and then I'll have you join me with it, and then we'll sing it all together. The ears of my ears awake. The ears of my ears awake. Join me. The ears of my ears awake. The ears of my ears awake again. The ears of my ears awake. The ears of my ears awake. The ears of my ears awake once more. the ears of my ears awake.
Good morning. I get to do the readings today. That's so rare for me. Today, our day is full of poetry. It's the time of the artists and the singers and the poets. And so our readings today are 3 poems, the first of which is from the Old Testament, from that underrated book, in my opinion, the Song of Solomon, or the Song of Songs, dedicated to human, romantic, and sexual love. And such language might make some of us blush a little, but scholars believe that this book was dedicated to readings during weddings, but also a relationship, or the metaphorical relationship of devotion between a believer and the divine presence. So, if you haven't, I invite you to spend some time in this Easter season with this delicious book. So this is from chapter 2, verses 10 through 13 of the Song of Solomon, or the Song of Songs. My beloved speaks and says to me, "Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. For now the winter is past. The rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth. The time of singing has come. And the voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land. The fig tree puts forth its figs, and the vines are in blossom. They give forth fragrance. Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away." The second poem today is by Billy Collins, called Today. If ever there were a spring day so perfect, so uplifted by a warm, intermittent breeze that it made you want to throw open all the windows in the house and unlatch the door to the canary's cage, indeed, rip the little door from its jamb, a day when the cool brick paths and the garden, bursting with peonies, seem so etched in sunlight that you felt like taking a hammer to the glass paperweight on the living room end table, releasing the inhabitants from their snow-covered cottage so they could walk out, holding hands and squinting into this larger dome of blue and white. Well, today's just that kind of day. And then lastly, the incomparable Walt Whitman selection from Song of Myself. I have heard what the talkers were talking, the talk of the beginning and the end, but I do not talk of the beginning or the end. There was never any more inception than there is now, nor any more youth or age than there is now, and will never be any more perfection than there is now, nor any more heaven or hell than there is now. Urge and urge and urge, always the procreant urge of the world. To elaborate is no avail. Learned and unlearned feel that it is so. Feel that it is so. Sure as the most certain shore, plumb in its uprights, well entreated, braced in the beams, stout as a horse, affectionate, haughty, electrical, I and this mystery, here we stand. Clear and sweet is my soul.
Tra-la, it's May, the lusty month of May, that lovely month when everyone goes blissfully astray. So sings Guinevere as she prepares to celebrate the Beltane feast days, frolicking among the flowers with her assembled maids. in the Broadway production of Camelot. Camelot opened on Broadway in 1960 when I was a young adolescent, and all the neighboring girls in our cozy little cul-de-sac bordered by densely wooded ravines learned most of the songs from that musical. We gathered near the double sets of swings in one friend's backyard to sing our hearts out night after night. I loved Camelot and read more of the Arthurian stories and legends of that time, including The Once and Future King by T.H. White, that the musical was based on. It was the spring of 1962 when my father, who loved nothing better than to surprise us, announced that we would be going to Connecticut in the summer to stay with family and friends while he was on his annual 2 weeks of active duty in the Air Force Reserves. News of the trip was exciting, but not as exciting as the second part of the surprise. His fellow reservist in Connecticut had secured tickets for us to go into New York City and see Camelot. Camelot on Broadway. I was ecstatic. A few months later, the news came that the Air Force was going to promote my father and retire him. Good news for him, but I was in a funk for weeks. There would be no trip out east. My dreams had been crushed, and I would never see Julie Andrews, Robert Goulet, and Richard Burton do their best to tell the Camelot story on stage. A year later, in that dire November of 1963, when the Kennedys in the White House saw their dream destroyed, the nation was awash with grief and heartbreak. The story, the myth of Camelot, helped many deal with the shock of the assassination by focusing on what could have been rather than the tumultuous reality. That's what myths do. They help us make it through the stuff that life throws at us. Good storytellers have always been popular because they understand how healing stories can be, how the sagas, the fairy tales, and the parables are sometimes the only ways that we make meaning of our lives. Stories help us understand the world. When Arthur sits to rest for a moment after the devastating battle that will bring down his kingdom, he desperately wants the story to live on. And seeing a young boy, he calls to him, saying, "Don't let it be forgot that once there was a spot for one brief shining moment that was known as Camelot." Tears fill our eyes when we think of what could have been in that magical kingdom, with leaders assembled around the famous round table of peace and equality. Now we are at the cross-quarter days of Beltane in the Celtic calendar, between the spring equinox and midsummer. Stories, rituals, and myths common at this holy time have been handed down for centuries, and they all had a purpose. None was more important than to ensure a successful harvest during the summer season. Fire played a big part in the festival because it was not seen only as protection against evil, but a way of honoring the sun, so welcome after the cold, darker time of the year when food supplies had dwindled. Life was precarious. Living in the 21st century at a time in which we're still wondering how we will find peace, integrity, and justice, our own world in such disarray, we may ask how the Celts could take time to dance around maypoles and celebrate with such abandon in a time when life was so demanding and unpredictable. Perhaps they knew something we don't. Or maybe it was just that, like us, they sensed that every day cannot be lived in a continual fear and grief. In her poem, The Wrapping Ceremony, Deborah Hall says, "It is a daily discipline to choose how much of the world's darkness we touch and why. We could be incandescent with righteous rage every second of every hour. Our collective grief could raise the sea level overnight. Then," she claims, "it is joy, too, we are here to spend. It is celebration and active reverence that give us energy, the courage to make our most difference." Those ancients had every reason to worry about their future. If their rituals and ceremonies were successful, they knew that summer would come, crops would prosper, and the harvest would take them through the coming winter. The Celtic year, though divided into 8 major feast days, is essentially a ritual battle between winter and summer, the cooler and darker half of the year, and the warmer and brighter days. Several years ago at our Earth Day concert, a small choir sang a song that was a ritual pleading for the sun to return. Aware of the climate change that we were facing, we sang, "Come and join hands together, friends. Let us dance and sing, that there may never be a winter that does not end in spring." What would happen if this actually happened? What would it be like if summer didn't arrive? They knew it could happen because it did. In 536 in the Common Era, a massive volcanic eruption, likely in Iceland, ejected vast amounts of ash and other aerosols into the atmosphere, causing a severe 18-month volcanic winter across the northern hemisphere. A persistent dry fog blocked sunlight, leading to temperature drops of almost 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Summer snow, crop failures, and widespread famine marked the start of the coldest decade in over 2,300 years. Historian Michael McCormick has called the year 536 the beginning of one of the worst periods to be alive, if not the worst year, bringing in the late antique Little Ice Age, a century-long cold period. The years 1258 and 1345 also brought climate disasters. When the harvests were poor, the trade routes began the trade routes brought grain to buy. Unfortunately, plague and disease came along with them. The Black Death, coming after the 1345 eruption, was Europe's deadliest pandemic. But all of this is far from my mind as I take in the May Day rituals I love. Dancing, singing, wandering through the woods, watching for hepatica, rue anemone, spring beauty, and other flowers, making willow crowns with my friends, and finding time to spend that joy of being alive. It is a welcome respite from the often disturbing daily news. Beltane is also the most sensual of all the festivals, as you heard Adam reading some of the beautiful poetry that brings that feeling up in us. If the spring equinox celebrates the beginning of the vegetative cycle, Beltane shouts about the beauty and joy of human pleasure. Running off into the woods with a partner of your choice on Beltane Eve was a ritual fertility rite, and probably one of the more popular ones. The belief that the body was holy, a gift to be praised, promised a guilt-free experience before celibacy and denial of physical pleasure took hold in much of the church establishment. We UUs and UCC folks have given some extended thought over the years to thinking about our bodies and how we live with them, and teach our young to do so as well. We think it is so important that good information is available for all of us, that our denominations created the OWL program, the Our Whole Lives curriculum. It's so much more than a sex education program. And it's not only for kids. If we're going to spend our earthly days living in these bodies, it's a good idea to have a basic understanding of how they work, what to expect as we age and change. I love the button from the OWL program that says, just say no, K-N-O-W, just say no. I'm grateful for modern medicine that looks at health more holistically now and tries to help us understand how our bodies and minds work together. As I circle through my favorite books that celebrate and honor the Celtic and other indigenous worlds, I'm always on the lookout for nuggets of wisdom that will speak to us living in the 21st century. Connection to the natural world is everywhere I look, as key to a satisfying life. Some of you know Robin Wall Kimmerer, the author of Braiding Sweetgrass. She is not only a scientist, a professor, an enrolled member of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation, but also a mother, she says, first in her list. In one of her books, one of my favorite quotes is, she says, recent research has shown that the smell of humus exerts a physiological effect on humans. Breathing in the scent of Mother Earth stimulates the release of the hormone oxytocin, the same chemical that promotes bonding between mother and child and between lovers. Held in loving arms, she says, no wonder we sing in response. And when we cry out that our earth is hurting, Kimmerer urges us not to become hopeless. Even a wounded world is feeding us, she says. Even a wounded world holds us, giving us moments of joy and wonder. She concludes, I choose joy over despair, not because I have my head in the sand, but because joy is what the earth gives me daily, and I must return the gift. Choosing joy is an act of resistance. Find the joy. Share it with your loved ones at Beltane and all the days. It is joy, too, we are here to spend.
I invite us all to rise in body or in spirit as we sing our song of response, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee. That can be found as an insert in the bulletin. I had to squish things a little bit to fit in all the stanzas there, so the title got cut off, but I promise you that's what it is. And again, we're using the addition from the UU hymnal for this. We'll sing all 3 verses.
You can be seated. And now, in this season of joy and work, we take a moment to consider our intention for the coming season. How might we do the work that we are called to do? The work of Eastertide, the work of turning the garden, the work of preparing for whatever harvest, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, whatever harvest we might want to be receiving come fall. Now is our time to engage. And so while Jessica plays, each one of you is invited, as you're able, to come on up, to light a candle, and to set your intention for the season, to offer your devotion to Mary or to the ancestors, and to place your intention of joy and hope. What shall this season bring for you? How can you contribute to the joy of life? We enter into a time of reflection and intention. And I invite you into the spirit of prayer with me now. Divine presence, in this season of joy and birth and rebirth, guide us in joy and in justice, in wisdom and in courage. May we be instruments of your peace. Amen. And now we pause for just a few quick announcements. First, all of you are invited to come right downstairs after this to join us in a time of fellowship and camaraderie. Please don't miss it. We'd love to continue to have our congregations mix together. For the UCC folk, there is our quarterly reports are printed and available. If you haven't seen them yet, they're on the back table, and there will be some downstairs. And we'll be doing a quarterly visioning session on the 17th, which is a Sunday, right after fellowship. So mark your calendar. Come prepared for that, please. And any other announcements?
So, and as part of the visioning and planning process, UCC members are going to be getting a survey this week, and basically we're assessing our financial situation and also whether we have enough funds for a full-time pastor. So we're looking at you filling out this survey and helping prioritize. A full-time pastor has a lot of responsibilities, which you'll see, and we'd like to have some feedback from the congregation about what the priorities are if we have to make some decisions as part of this visioning process. So it's due May 15th. I have a couple copies. If you aren't online, see me and I'll give you some paper copies. But thank you all, and you'll get reminders to get this back to us.
Any other announcements from anyone today?
In case you missed it in the newsletter, Natalie Goodner and Lily Sandhorst are recipients of this year's Schwender Scholarship. This year in the amount of $1,580. So we ask God's blessings on their studies, and thanks to all of you who made those scholarships possible.
Any other announcements today? Okay, well, let's sing each other out.
And I invite us all to rise in body or in spirit as we sing each other out. We'll be singing each other out with the words and melody of Michael Stillwater. One by one is the song. You'll see the words here. One by one, everyone comes to remember. We're healing the world, one heart at a time. This song, I'll teach the melody quickly here just for our UU members who may not have sung this before. And oh, you sing it. Wait, so our UU members know this one? Oh, so I don't need to teach it. And you know that it's around, so we can layer this one. Let's do it. Oh, I'm so excited. This is beautiful. All right, let's sing it. Let's sing it together, and then we'll break it into a round. One by one, everyone comes to remember we're healing the world one heart at a time. This side. One by one, everyone comes to remember we're healing the world one heart at a time.
And may you all go forth and celebrate the joy of the season and be filled with the spirit of life and of birth and of all that is sacred, all flowing through you, all in this moment. Amen.